Hello! In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to read your human design chart. I remember the very first time someone showed me my own chart and how confusing it felt. All the shapes, numbers didn't make any sense. The only thing that resonated right away was my strategy. I was told that I need to wait for an invitation. But the chart itself looked more like a machine diagram than something that describes me as a person. Maybe you felt the same, curious but overwhelmed, wondering where even to start. So today I'm gonna guide you through the most important steps you need to know about your chart in the beginning, which is your type, your strategy, and your authority. I'm Anna, I'm 4/6 Clinic Projector. I'm certified human design guide and analyst. Welcome to my channel. Let's begin. To download your chart, you'll see the chart itself, also called body graph, in the description. Body graph consists from 9 geometric shapes. We call them energy centers, each of them related to different themes in our lives. If you look at your chart, in most cases, you'll see some of the centers colored in, while others remain white. What you have colored in your chart, those centers connected with solid lines, we call them channels. Channels and defined centers, this is who you are, your gifts, your talents, what you put into the world, also how others perceive you. Open centers, white centers work like receptors. Think about them as empty glasses. Every time you step in somebody else's aura, they feel with their energy. That's why you cannot trust that energy in making decisions because it's inconsistent, it comes and goes. Human design is basically about decision making. It gives us tools how we can make decisions in our lives based on our unique design through strategy and authority. And it always comes to our definition. And what we have open, that is where we get conditioned, where we can become lost and overwhelmed. But also we can become wise. That is where we need to learn. For example, this is emotional center. Someone who has it open will be always sensitive to emotions of others. He can be overwhelmed, but he can also reflect to others how they feel. We have 4 types in human design: generator, manifestor, projector, and reflector. Each of them has different type of aura. Whether we know human design or not, we're all connected through aura, and we feel each other. Aura does the talking. Generator have often an enveloping aura. It feels like warm big hug. Projectors have focused and absorbing aura. They are focused on the other. Who is the other? That is the question. Manifestors have very different type of aura, which is closed and repellent, doesn't let anybody in. And reflectors have resistant and sampling aura. They are deeply connected to the environment around them. Let's look at generator type. It's very easy to recognize a generator looking at the chart. If you have that red square center in your chart, it means you're a generator. Sacral center is a powerful motor that works in response. If generator does something they love, they feel satisfaction. If they make decisions with their mind, initiating something, they feel resistance and frustration. Generators have open and developing aura, which naturally attracts situations, opportunities, and people in their lives so they can respond. They're not here to initiate. By doing that, they only meet resistance. So that powerful sacral center, think about that as an engine of the car. Doesn't matter how great car you have, how powerful engine it has. If you do not maintain it correctly, it won't work good. The same is the sacral center. In order for that generate, and that is the name of a generator because of that ability of sacral center to generate energy, you need to wait to respond in order to find satisfaction. We have two types of generators: pure generator and manifesting generator. They are the same type generator because they both have sacral center defined and they have the same open and enveloping aura, the same strategy to respond. I will talk about differences in the next video. Manifestors. Let's look at their chart. Open sacral center, and one of the motors connected to the throat center. Throat center is a center of manifestation, action, and expression. So because of that design, they have ability to move energy into action, manifestation. They can act independently. And they are closed and repelling, which naturally sets distance between them and others. So on one hand, it's protected manifestors from influence, but it's hard for others to understand what manifestors is about to do. That creates suspicion, that creates misunderstanding, and others can even afraid of manifestor. A lot of manifestors grow up being controlled and misunderstood, which leads to anger. So anger rises in manifestors every time they feel that somebody wants to control them. They cannot stand control. And they're looking for peace. They want to be left alone. They want to be able to freely do what they want. And their strategy is to inform others before they act. They do not need to ask permission, but they need to inform, let others know what they're about to do. And of course, manifestors do not want to do that. They would think, why would I tell them about my decision? They're just going to be resistant. They're just going to stand on my way. They won't be agreeing, things like that. But in reality, it works differently. If manifestors inform, others feel that relief inside of them because now they feel like, okay, I know what manifestors is about to do. So it's very important to follow the strategy and to inform in order to eliminate resistance and find that peace. Projectors. Let's look at their chart. Projectors have open sacral center and no connections between motors and throat center. It means they're not here to generate energy or manifest energy. So what they're here for, right? Projectors are here to guide. They're guides. Because of their ability to deeply recognize others, because of that openness they have, and also because of focused and penetrating aura, they have natural ability to deeply know the other and their energy, and they can guide others because they know how others can use their energy efficiently. But they cannot just put out their guidance without invitation, without their request. That's why their strategy is to wait for an invitation. Without invitation, projectors just gonna feel resistance and bitterness. The strategy is wait for an invitation is the key for success. They need to be recognized first and then invited. And that strategy applies to major things in life, like relationships, friendship, career, place to live. That is very important that others officially invited them. Reflectors, they're very unique, very open. Look at their design. All centers are white. Only 1% of people are reflectors. They're very rare. Their strategy is to wait for the moon cycle, which is 29-28 days. And what happened during the time, the moon activates different gates in their design, also lights up their own activations. And then they can experience different aspects of their design, also lights up their own activations. And they can experience different energies. So every day they can feel like a different person. And that can be very confusing if they do not know their design. By waiting the moon cycle, they can see different perspectives of the situation, of the decision. It gives them an opportunity to see the whole picture, the perspective of the situation. Because of their sampling and resistant aura, they're deeply connected to the environment around them. Unlike projectors who are focused on one person at a time, reflectors are deeply connected to the whole environment, community. And having open G center, it's very important for them to be in the right place. In the right place, they meet right people, and they can find their surprise in life by discovering what is different. If they're in the wrong place with the wrong people, they will be always disappointed. We looked at the type and strategy, and now we are moving to the authority. Authority is our inner decision-making compass, which guides us in making decisions. Solar plexus authority or emotional authority. If you have emotional center defined, it means that is your authority. And for you, there is no truth in the now. You need to wait until you make decision. Emotional center is about feelings, desires, passion, but it's also a very powerful motor that works in wave. Emotional person always rides its emotional wave. Every day he's going to feel differently depending on where he is on his emotional wave. No matter how attractive something looks in the moment, don't jump in that because there is no truth in that. Wait until you're clear. Sleep on things. Emotional decisions are not healthy for you. If you're excited about something, just wait and see how you feel about it the next day. On the bottom of your wave, you can reject something that is actually good for you. Again, waiting is a key. Sacral authority. If you're a generator and your emotional center is open, sacral center is your authority. Sacral center is the only center that makes sounds. If somebody asks you, would you like to have that food? And you go, mm-hmm. And then somebody asks you, would you like to go out? And you go, yeah, sure. So the sounds of your sacral center gives you the answer about the decision. It basically tells you if you have available energy or not, because sacral center is all about your life force energy. That is the core of generator life. And you can find your satisfaction by listening to your sacral center respond. Splenic authority. Only projectors and manifestors can have the type of authority. Splenic center is about immune system, intuition, instincts. Think about animals in the forest. They're always aware about environment. They're always listening, smelling, and they're ready to react. You have that oldest awareness, body awareness in your system that guides you moment by moment. What is healthy? What is good for you? By trusting that, you can always be guided to the correct decisions in your life. Trust that subtle voice, body sensation. It could be goosebumps or instant like lightning awareness that something is good for you or not. So it's very easy to miss it. You know, emotions are very intense. our mind is always busy giving us suggestions and instructions on what to do. And splenic authority is very quiet. So you need to be aware about it and trust it. Because basically, you need to trust something that you cannot explain. There is no logic in there, but it's very powerful. It's your truth. Ego authority. Ego center is about willpower. Only manifestors and projectors can have this authority. If you're a manifestor with ego authority, it means you need to pay attention to what you are saying about your desires, about what you are going to do while you're talking to others. Always pay attention to that, because that is your answer, not what you think about decisions, but how you express them while talking to others. And if you're a projector with ego authority, invitation is very important for you, to be invited in something, and then your ego will guide you, will give you the answer if that invitation is good for you or not. If yes, you will feel power of your ego ready to fully commit to something. And you will know if that is what you really want. Self-projected authority. Only projectors can have that type of authority. G-center is about our identity, direction, and love. So this center connected to the throat center guides you to correct decisions in your life. This is where your identity is talking and expressing itself. Listen to what you say in the conversation. It can be even in the email you're sending to somebody, and you can read it and you can find some insights in that about your truth, about what makes you happy, what direction is good for you. Again, invitation is very important. You're very open. All motors are open in that design. Correct people are crucially important, and they come through invitation. Mental authority. Mental projectors have that type of authority, where you have ajna center connected to the throat center or to the head center, or all three centers are defined and nothing is defined below the throat. Very open design. And that type of authority is very different from others, because even though you have defined centers, they cannot be your inner authority, because our mind is never our authority. So how do you make correct decisions? For mental projectors, it's a process. It takes time. It's good for you to have people in your life who you can trust, and then you can use communication with them as a sounding board. So you can talk with each of them about the decision, and then you can listen what you're saying. It's not about asking advice. It's about listen to yourself in those conversations. And then you will realize that what you're saying is different with each person, but something will remain the same. And that is your answer. Lunar authority. Only reflectors have the type of authority. We already talked about them today. They need to wait 28 days before they make major decisions, because then the moon activates different aspects of them, different energy moving through them every day, and they can experience different energies, different perspectives that will allow them to make a decision, to see the whole picture. Now, when you know about your type, your strategy, and authority, it's very important to start your experiment, because just knowing your chart won't change your life, because it's just an information. Human design is about experiment with your design. Try to make decisions based on your strategy and authority, and see it for yourself if it's working for you or not. For your support, I created a free human design guide which you can get in the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.